For over 2 decades, we have communicated with our audience through our stories. And in the past few years, a new wave of telling stories has emerged. We are evolving, and now more than ever, we bring you more powerful storytelling, engaging and interacting with our audience, people in our communities and around the world. From business and politics to entertainment, culture and sports, we present news. A new beginning. Metro News, redefining the news.
Metro TV, insightful.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to News Flash here on Metro Television. We have 30 minutes of all the update and running stories here in Ghana for you. Please stay with us. Let's run you through our headlines. Court finds 37 military hospital 1.1 million cedis for medical negligence. Students allowed to go home after alleging they were brutalized by the police. And later on in the bulletin, Health Minister accused of procurement breaches by committee members. Thank you very much for joining us on News Flash. My name is Nana Yontri. We will be connecting you straight to our first story, but we want to inform you about happenings on the floor of Parliament when the Finance Minister has been speaking on the floor after he's been given months to come back and give his findings as to why the President had to fly on such an expensive, according to the Member of Parliament who filed the question on that trip. And the Finance Minister has been telling MPs that he wants the case to be referred to the national security. We'll be going to Parliament and connect with our correspondent to give us update on the story. Good afternoon to you and welcome.
In the last paragraph, that it says that the President's domestic and international travels are matters to do with national security. The National Security Minister is the best placed to furnish this House with the details needed. The detail we need is the cost of the travel. Is the Minister of Finance saying that the National Security Minister is the one who controls the budget that finances the President's travel? So that when we ask him, you'll be able to provide the information. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Actually, I didn't get your supplementary question. What is the supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I'm picking the question from the answer provided by the Minister. The last paragraph of the Minister's answer says that, Mr. Speaker, the President's domestic and international travels are matters to do with national security. The National Security Minister is best placed to furnish this Honorable House with the details needed. And Mr. Speaker, the detail that we need is the cost of the travel. So if he's saying that he is the minister best placed to provide the details, my question is that National Security Minister is the one who controls the budget that will finance the President's travel. That is my question. Is it the National Security Minister that controls the budget that finances the President's travel, both domestic and international?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I did state from the beginning that the Chief of Staff works with the National Security Secretariat to facilitate the safe coordination of the President's travels. So there's obviously interactions between them as to how much is to be spent on that. Mr. Speaker, this Honorable House is also well aware of national security implications of various activities that are done, and that is why they have certain protocols of national security. Mr. Speaker, all things may be permissible, but not all things may be beneficial. And it's therefore always the House knowing what it is that they have to do in camera and what they do not have to do in camera, which leads us to this. Mr. Speaker, I still contend that the best placed person to furnish this Honorable House with the details would be the National Security Minister, in which your answers the appropriate answers will be given. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we move on to the next question. Majority Leader, is there any issue? Well, Mr. Speaker, respectfully, you have moved on, so I wouldn't have much to say about it. But I was in the office listening to proceedings. Mr. Speaker, what I got from this, the question is asked of a minister, and the minister says that he is not responsible for it. And he relates to the specific ministry that has the charge for it. Is it the case that that minister has come, has been invited, and the minister is denying responsibility? If that's the case, then we can litigate the matter. But the minister has not been invited. So how can we continue this way? And I heard you rule that, or gave a directive that we should move on. Yet your path was crossed to say that we should allow some limited intervention. And I thought that ought not even have been entertained. But I haven't heard you at all. I haven't heard you. In respect of all what you said. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. You are not speaking into the mic, and so you are not audible. Well, Speaker, the point made is this. Our orders provide in 62(1). Questions may be asked of ministers relating to public affairs with which they are officially connected. Mr. Speaker, that is the essence of my own intervention. You moved, you ruled, or directed that we should move on. As I said, I was listening to proceedings. At a point in time, I heard you direct that we should move on and the question should be filed or refiled. And then an intervention was made against the direction that you provided. And I'm saying that ensuing from this is what I have come to hear. And I'm saying
Okay, let's now connect with my colleague Abdallah, who is on the floor of Parliament, to give us more into what is happening currently on the floor of Parliament. Good afternoon to you and welcome, Abdallah.
Yeah, good afternoon, Nana.
Thank you so much for your time. Why is the Finance Minister referring us to the National Security Ministry?
Exactly so, Nana. I believe I am equally surprised, for the lack of a better expression, because we all thought the Finance Minister haven't required or asked for some time now since the Honourable Member of Parliament for North Tonk put that question before the House, and due to the unavailability of the Minister of Finance to provide that question because he claimed he needed some time to gather that information. We actually all thought that today he was coming to the House with details on how much the President expended on that 9-day trip to Europe and South Africa. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which side of the House you are, the Finance Minister is today saying that he has to refer that particular question to the Ministry of National Security, and that is in line with the 2021 budget implementation instruction, which clearly says that the Ministry of Finance would henceforth not release any funds to the Chief of Staff for the President's trips. So subsequent to that, the approval was that the practice now is that the Ministry of Finance will rather release quarterly funds to heads of departments, and in this case, the Office of the Government Machinery. So the Finance Minister is essentially saying that the President's domestic and international travels are matters that have to do with national security, and for that matter, he's unable to provide details on how much the President expended on this 9-day trip. He's referring them to the Minister of National Security, who is the Honorable Albert Kandapa. So that is what is happening on the floor right now. The minority members are mounting a strong resistance to this answer because they believe that the minister is just trying to hide behind this clause to dodge, or as it were, keep the figures from the House because of the amount involved in that 9-day trip. So the minority is insisting that the Finance Minister has access to all expenditure from the presidency. So why is he not able to provide these details? And on the other hand, the majority side is insisting that once the Speaker has ruled that the House should move on and probably allow the Honourable Member of South Tonk, constituency, Honourable Samuel Okudzewa Blakwa, to rather file an urgent question or put a motion for the Minister of National Security to also be hauled to the House to provide details and with regards to this particular expenditure. But the feeling the members of the minority are having on this issue is that they have a feeling that at the end of the day they may not get the details they need, because the National Security Minister might just come to the House and tell them that this has to do with national security matters. So he may not be able to make public the amount involved in this trip.
Abdallah, at this time, we might want to say that that is an inference they are making. But then, have you been able to speak with any of them, especially when Honorable Kluge James Avaji raises the exact points that, with all the time given, if the Finance Minister knew that the case or the question had to refer to the Ministry of National Security, why then take all this time? And then I saw on the floor Honorable Chairman Sabonsu also supporting that statement that the case should go to the national security. What exactly is it that you think that the Finance Minister cannot give? Because James Kluge wants a figure, not the security details. Exactly
so, Rana. And the concern of the minority now is the time they've had to, wait to get the Finance Minister into the House to answer this particular question. They've had to wait for weeks. And actually, the Honorable Member, Samuel Okudzewa Blakwa, has repeatedly, raised concerns over why this particular question he asked more than a month ago was absent on the Parliamentary Hansard for weeks now. So it's rather, surprising that today that we thought he was coming to give details on this particular trip, he has decided that he will refer it to the Ministry of National Security. So that is what the members are currently debating on the floor. But Speaker has already ruled that the issue will have to let rest for now until the Minister of National Security is in the position to come to the House to provide details on this very controversial issue. Okay,
thank you. Thank you so much, Abdullah. But whilst you get ready to come to the office, I would like to hear what Honorable Kujetua Blackwell will say when they rise beyond this question, when he's been referred to put in another urgent question. Abdullah is my colleague and our parliamentary correspondent here at Metro News. Now to our next story, where I take you to the Ashanti region. Metro News Ashanti regional correspondent Abdul Basit has confirmed that the police indeed brutalized students of the Kumasi Girls Senior High School for protesting against spending mid-term holidays in school. The directive followed a warning from the Ghana Health Service, which have given indication that a rise in COVID-19 cases. Therefore, the school advised the authorities to actually hold on with the students going on at home so that they don't, join with the spread of the COVID-19. But before we bring you that, let's connect you back to the floor of Parliament, where the Health Minister was actually before the committee probing into the procurement of the Sputnik V vaccine through middlemen. Okay, we still try, and we're taking you to Parliament for that inset, but we will be connecting with our Ashanti regional correspondent Basit to give us the back of what is happening at Kumasi Girls Senior High School and also other incidents from this region. Good afternoon, welcome to you, Basit.
As if there's not any brutality, what happened to those who got injured? I can say for a fact that I've spoken with a lot of students at the school, and I've even seen some of them with bruises in their bodies, some with on their legs, and so on and so forth. So for police to say any media house who publish such should retract and so on and so forth, I think it's unfair, because the students have confirmed that, and I don't think it's even fair for the police to, in the first place, to. Indeed, there has been some kind of brutalities by the police. According to the students, they wanted to go home during the mid-semester, but the authorities asked them not to go, and they protested. During the protest, some of them destroyed some school properties. I must say, it's mainly plastics, the biological bucket, and other items in the school. That was when the school authorities called in the security. And when the security also came in, at that time, the students were still agitating and making noise that they still want to go home. And all of a sudden, some of the security personnel plucked some tree leaves and other items, using it on them, beating them here and there. I even had a call at that particular moment. Some of the students were crying and so on and so forth.
Let's now take you back to Parliament for the probing into the procurement of Sputnik V vaccine. Well, the Health Minister had to appear before the committee and hear his response.
I remember we said we will contact the other party to take the evidence, and unfortunately we haven't got the evidence yet. I think we may have to lay it later.
So what representation did they make to you? In other words, what did they tell you in respect of their capacity to supply?
Their capacity to supply was the fact that the manufacturer has given authority to a company in is it Dubai? a company in Ghana, and therefore he has authority to supply us because he was like the agent of the manufacturer. So that was the introduction he gave us, actually.
But then no documentary proof of such was tendered?
No, please.
Now, at the hearing, the first hearing, as my colleague Riley put it, it came up and you said you would contact them. Have you done so? Have you done so?
Let the legal head legal answer
Okay,
this
very
question,
well.
please.
Director Legal, let's hear you on that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Honorable Members. Yes, we have since made contacts with Mactoon to provide us with copies of the documents. They are yet to respond. And once I have the mic, Honorable Chair, if you allow me, permit me, we dealt with them under the rules that come under the presumption of regularity. So once this Honorable House wants us to have the proof documentary, we are going to provide it, God willing.
Counsel.
Honorable Chair.
Please, you see, when you are getting into area of law, you have to be careful. The presumption of regularity is anchored on the basis of a document which comes in your possession. If we are questioning that document, then you are talking about fraud or whatever, then you can say that, well, there was a presumption that the document brought as proof of agency or distributorship was regular. Then the secondary matter will trigger whether or not it is right. Here, there is no such document. You get my point? So if you contend that you have contacted them, we'll take your word for it, and if they respond to it, you let us know.
We are accordingly guided, Honorable Chair.
Very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I put it to the minister matter, and there will not be any for that matter because the supplier does not have that authorization to supply same. Thank you.
Yes. What do you say to that?
Honorable Chair, not until we contact the supplier, we will not be able to actually...
Not until you receive, because you've
Not
contacted...
until we receive.
Yes.
We receive. I wouldn't know how to respond. I want to pick from the supplier himself. If he can't give me that document, that is when I will accept that he's not the representative for the manufacturer.
The last agenda date, you admitted that you do not have cabinet approval. Where was this decision taken to procure these vaccines? Thank you. Where was the decision taken? You do not have the cabinet approval. Where? I mean...
So, Honorable Minister, you didn't get the approval of cabinet. Was there an executive approval? If you didn't get a cabinet approval, you told us.
It's a different question. There was no executive approval.
So his question is how
there was no cabinet approval.
Right. So at what...
You're still watching News Flash here on Metro Television. We'll be bringing you more as far as the committee sitting is concerned. But news just coming through is that the new IGP is George Ekufu-Dampare for the Ghana Police Service. So we wish congratulations to George Ekufu-Dampare for his new role with the Ghana Police Service. We take a break. We'll be back with more.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Welcome back to News Flash. Still watching here on Metro Television. Remember, we just came to you with the news that George Akuffo-Dampare has been named the new IGP for the Ghana Police Service. And you just go to the Ghana Revenue Authority, where we understand there is a review of its custom administrative law to make it simple and clear for taxpayers. Mr. Dominic Nab, an auditor and special aide to the authority's Commissioner General, has said.
Some stakeholders have raised concerns about certain aspects of the customs tax and administration, and the Commissioner of Customs has been directed to look at it and try to simplify the laws, said Mr. Nab at the virtual UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce quarterly tax dialogue on tax implications from Ghana's 2021 budget statement. The Customs Act 2015 Act 891 was passed to provide for the imposition, collection and accounting of customs duty, tax and for related matters. It entails provisions for imposition of rate of duty and tax on goods, exemptions, customs controls, release of goods, post-clearance audits, authorized economic operators, record keeping, customs information, objection, arrival and departure of conveyance, mooring and unloading, and goods for exports or use at stores, among others. Mr. Nab disclosed that government will introduce a non-citizen's identity card for foreigners working in the country, while the GRA will set up a desk at the Registrar General's Department to respond to the tax issues of foreigners who are in the country to transact business for a period of not more than 90 days.
That'll be all for News Flash here on Metro Television. We congratulate the new IGP, George Akuffo-Dampare. We'll be back at 7 with more news. My name is Nanaji. Thanks for being part of the bulletin.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments. Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
From the heart of Lagos, welcome to Kids Say the Darndest Things, starring Tony. Coming up tonight.
You have a girlfriend?
Yes.
So, how long have you been going with this girl?
40 days.
I can't dial out from my phone. I can't call anybody from my phone, but I can receive calls.
You said that you can't call. But how are you calling me now?
All this and more coming up tonight on Kids Say the Darndest Things.
No telling what, no telling when, never a dull moment. You think you know, there's a prize you'll again, saying what they wanna. They're gone tomorrow, right here today. Let's hear what they have to say.